Yes, sir, Wint. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to my channel. This is the Sherlock Robbins YouTube channel, and I am happy that I have you here today to do a little bit of chit chat as to you being the caretaker candidate for the Northeastern Manchester constituency. So we just want to know, to find out a little bit of your plans going forward for the constituency if you should become the next MP. But first, I would ask you, could you just give a brief introduction of yourself of who is Valwint?
Okay. Well, it's good to be here with you, Sherlock.
Yes,
Really
sir.
good to be here with you and your viewers. Wint, born in Manchester, son of a pastor and a nurse aide.
Interesting.
Um, you know, um, it so happened that I lost my mother who gave birth to me at the tender age of 10. But I
Oh,
was one of those fortunate, boy who became adopted again. I was adopted in about a year plus after my mother died
okay.
by Lorna Wint, my, my father's second wife, who was mother to me and my four siblings
Yes.
after her passing. And I must emphasize that as much as we lost our mother and we missed her, we had a mother because Lorna was really a genuine mother, no less than any other mother. As a matter of fact, much better than many mothers in
Yes, yes,
Jamaica. So
yes.
I am blessed. I spent a few of my early years in primary school in both St. Elizabeth and Manchester, having
Okay.
attended the Santa Cruz Solage and the Hatfield Primary School. I then finished Hatfield at the age of 11, somewhere thereabout after the death of my mother. I journeyed to St. Elizabeth, where I attended the St. Elizabeth Technical High School.
That's known as
Stats,
Stats.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you know of Stats. Good
Yes,
school,
yes, man.
football school. The Stats
And cricket.
and cricket. After leaving Stats, I my sojourn took me to back into Manchester, my home, and I did a stint uh, of work with a couple companies, including a construction company, Paul Howard. I then worked with the parish library for a while.
That's in Manchester Parish Library.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, I was the artist for the region. Yes,
Okay,
I
okay.
was good with visual arts, and then I went to work with Alcan Maker Company. I spent a couple of years there, 9 years really. But throughout my time at Alcan, I decided that I would continue my studies. So I started a program, Northern Caribbean University, West Indies College back then.
Yes, yes.
After which I started another program after I finished that one with CAS in Kingston. And then
CAS is now known as U Technic.
that's UTech,
Tech.
right?
Okay.
Same UTech. The
Yes.
schools have changed name over time,
Yes,
but
sir.
the same institutions. And then I went to Mona School of Business, where I pursued some managerial studies. Um, and I was still at Alcan during that time, really, but I believe in education. After leaving Alcan, I came to Northeast Manchester. I was after 9 years at Alcan, and I started a small grocery store on the
In
border. Yes,
Spaldings,
right on the border of
Clarendon
Clarendon
and
and Manchester,
Manchester. Yeah.
right in Spaldings there. A business I continued in for over 20 years. You know, I had loved the area, passion for Spaldings and its environment. You know, you grew over the years. While there, I became involved in community work.
Yes.
So at one stage, I was chairman of the Upper Clarendon Development Area Committee.
Okay.
I worked with the PDC, the Clarendon PDC, and I also worked with the SDC, the Manchester SDC. So, I was in volunteer work all over the place.
Yes, sir.
I then ventured into areas of development, etc. But I must mention, and significantly so too, During my voluntary years, I worked with the Jamaica Red Cross.
Okay, yeah.
I started
That
in
a
the
voluntary group.
Spalding's Christian a year ago,
Yeah.
after which I became chairman of that group. I then moved up to become a central committee member of the Red Cross. Then I was promoted to vice president of the National Society, a position I held for 4 years. During my tenure with the Red Cross, I, I was fortunate enough to go on many trips overseas
Yes, sir.
on behalf of the Red Cross. I went to Geneva conventions, I attended conventions in Korea. We did quite a bit of work in, you know, North America, South America, and all of
And
those
that was all
areas.
voluntary.
All voluntary work, all voluntary
Okay.
work. I attended workshops all over and participated in Red Cross initiatives
Yes.
all over Latin America and the Caribbean and elsewhere. I remember during Hurricane Ivan, which was a bad one, bad hit for Jamaica.
I
I
remember.
was at the hem of the Red Cross at the time. And boy, the relief work was tremendous. Quite a bit of work, you know. So it brought me right across Jamaica to some communities I did not know. I, I, I did not know that there were some areas in Jamaica, as much as I was born here, grown up here, had so many areas of real bad poverty, you know. So as a Red Cross member, we were taught not to discriminate.
Yeah.
So we helped wherever we could. And at one particular point during that same hurricane, Hurricane Ivan, we recognized we needed assistance from the government of the day at the time. It was the PAP government that was in during those years. Um,
That was
many,
that was the lead Percival Patterson era.
yes,
Okay.
definitely. Um, there were some MPs who were quick to give a hand to the Red Cross in our relief efforts, but some were not as kind. I could not forget Mr. Richard Azan, who was quick to lend a hand
Yes.
to the Red Cross. And when I recognized that, it was borne home to me now that you do have politicians who care. So it was then that I decided to work closer with some of the, political operatives. And as you know, as life would have had it, I ended up as a political representative.
So let me ask you, sir, as I reach there, let me ask you. So what would have motivated then to get involved so much in politics? Because I've listened to your introduction and you didn't mention any
Yes.
influence or anybody who you want to emulate at that time. So being at that stage of your development, what would have influenced you to get involved in politics, knowing that it is really uh, in itself it is a pure word, but based on what we have seen, it can be rough.
You mean the corruption and all of that in
Yes,
politics?
and it can be rough at times,
Yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
ungrateful at times
Right.
too.
That is so true. That is so true. As a Red Crosser, we had a pledge where we did not engage in political matters, really. Um, you know, the Red Cross believes in the worst case of distress,
Yeah.
and you will deal with someone who is in need, irrespective of their political color. As a politician, I continued in that vein.
Yes.
So up until today, when I see somebody who is in need, I don't see color. If you are in need and I can help, certainly whether you're orange or you're green or blue or any other color.
And there's a testament to that also, sir, because I remember when you were in the supermarket in Spalding's, you'd have employed people from different color.
I did not need to know what your political color was.
Yes.
And and so it was when I participated in community projects. I'll never forget the Percy Junior Hospital that I worked very closely with. The hospital was in dire need of repairs. As a matter of fact, we wanted to see a Type C instead of a Type B hospital here.
Yes.
And there was much arguments going around that the hospital would have been moved down, downgraded to a comprehensive clinic. We would have none of that. That was our community hospital that served not just Spaldings and Christiana or Manchester and
Wider
Clarinda,
region and
but it served
environs.
Trelawney and St. Anne.
Yeah, yes.
So we were determined to upgrade the hospital. So I was invited to chair the committee that would upgrade it, and I embarked upon an intensive repair program. We retired 26,000 square feet of that hospital. We changed out the entire plumbing in the hospital. We
Yeah.
upgraded the electricity, after which we upgraded the children's ward. And then we built a central sterilization unit. We then moved to doing the grounds of the hospital, getting it paved and all of that. And this again, I call on the politicians to help. And this, as I was only too quick to help in that project.
Yes, sir.
The last thing I worked on there, the two last projects I worked on while at Percy Hospital, was the sewer treatment plant. We upgraded the sewer treatment plant to a more modern facility. And then I started working on the accident and emergency department. That department will come under pressure. Percy Junior sees over 50,000 patients in the accident and emergency department every single year.
Yeah.
And I must tell you what that means.
Well,
when we compare to the regional hospital in Mandeville that sees 60,000. So, we really need to improve that facility there. So we started raising funds towards that end. We did not get very far. We needed 425 million, memory serves me right,
yes,
to build a proper accident and emergency department. When I left as chairman of the hospital management committee, I think that means some 90 million. We started the work, And I must tell you, the monies we raised to upgrade the hospital did not come from government. Not a red cent came from government. It was just community persons who we pulled towards this recovery effort.
So just to fast forward a bit, sir, because the weather is against us. But so what you are now the caretaker candidate for Northeast Manchester, and I've noticed that in the last local government election, the People's National Party have created some semblance of history because they have won the Christiana division. I've done over for over 30 years, and also right, and the Wallace division, it was like a two-way thing.
A swing seat.
Right.
Yes.
And they have eaten two. Into the Craighead division. And that was with your Councillor David Knight and Councillor Omar Evans. O'Neill Evans, right. And also Mr. Buscott, right.
In the Craighead division.
So with that foundation being led, sir, how do you fancy yourself to become the next MP going up against Senator and former Ambassador Arjun Marks?
All right. You see, this has been a long way coming.